Okay, first question. First question is, briefly introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Sercxchio Romero. I like to go by Sercxchio Novatio. Reason I like to go by Sercxchio Novatio is because I was actually in the process of changing my name from Sercxchio to Sercxchio. Our Novatio is it's kind of like a rebirth kind of name in Latin. So as I was in the process of changing my name, illegally in the process of changing my name from Sercxchio to Sercxchio, I experienced a very traumatic situation, and it was around the same time that I was in that process, that legal process, that I found HuaChenyu's music. And so I started using his music as Sercxchio Novatio because that was my my way of escaping. Now let me briefly explain what Sercxchio means. S-E-R is actually Sercxchio, which is the person that I am, that I was born, and X is actually like the X component, the X chromosome, because and I'll explain in a video about the X chromosome and the X part of me that I don't understand what it is about me that makes me so different. So some things about me that I don't understand is kind of like the X part of me. And CH is actually for a chance, I is for identity, and the O is for the planet Earth, you know, the O, which I'm actually creating artwork with a celestial sphere and a terrestrial cube. I'll explain that in my video Persist, but my name is Sercxchio Romero. I like to go by Sercxchio Novatio, and Martians have called me Inspiration Brother because of the videos that I've created. And that is, I just gotta say it here, that is which I really appreciate, because that name alone, that nickname alone with Martians actually inspires me. So it's like a reciprocated kind of emotion when they call me Inspiration Brother, like it inspires me too. So I'm Inspiration Brother, Sercxchio Novatio. So the question here is, when and where did I come across HuaChenyu's music? It was in 2016, when my ex-partner at the time was going to UC San Diego, and I lived here in LA with my roommate, and he used to watch a show, Singers of China. When he was watching that show, I would watch it with him, but I kind of felt like, no offense to Jessie J, I love the way she sings. She has a beautiful voice, and but I wanted to kind of compete with my ex-partner and kind of join him in watching singers. So I wanted to have something in common. But that's when I saw this quick video clip of HuaChenyu reacting to Jessie J singing, and I was curious about him. So there was one day when I was I kept thinking about HuaChenyu and that like split-second reaction. I kept thinking about him, and that's when I kind of went on Singers of China, and I started looking for the people that were competing on Singers, and I saw HuaChenyu. I saw HuaChenyu wearing a white outfit. I love white. There's a particular reason why I like white, but I like snow, white, things like that. So when I saw him with that outfit on, I wanted to see what he sings like, you know. So that was the first experience of coming across HuaChenyu. The first song that I heard was Child. Of course, I didn't know what he's saying because I don't speak Chinese. I don't understand what they're saying, but I feel the melody. Like I felt the melody as he was singing, and it's almost like I got like mesmerized. I just kept looking at him, and then I kind of was like this reality, like, oh, you know. But I just wanted to continue. Like I didn't want to stop from hearing him sing the song Child. I didn't know at the time. Now I know, of course, it's called Child and what the lyrics are. But at that time, it was a very very moving experience. So I let that inside of me, and I started being more curious about HuaChenyu's music. So it was a period of time from 2016 till now. And so what attracts me the most about HuaChenyu? I had some keynotes. I have to look at my notes on that because there's so much stuff that attracts me to HuaChenyu. The number one thing that attracted me, of course, as I said earlier, was his reaction first, and then it was him wearing white, and then it was his singing. But then as I started researching more about Hua Chenyu, I actually saw some uniqueness in him, and I loved the uniqueness in him the most. There were some parts that were, there were some videos and music that I saw him at Superboy, when he would dress very extravagant, but fashionably extravagant, and it almost felt, there was a lot of emotional times when I came across Hua Chenyu's music, and what attracted me the most about him was that he was different, he was unique, he is different, he is unique, he still is, and I felt there were some things about me that are also, you know, different about me. That there were many things about Hua Chenyu that I actually admire about him. I'll explain a little bit where this is coming from, and I'll disclose it here in this video, which nobody really knows certain things about me, and you know, listening to Hua Chenyu's music, and that question of what do I like the most about him is actually a very it's like almost a secret that I have, but I'll disclose it here. And growing up, you know, I was a very different kind of kid. You know, I was very feminine. I was very, you know, I was getting bullied a lot for my femininity. And you know, there was I didn't understand what it was. I just felt very free to be myself. But the environment that I kind of was into, that I kind of was raised into here in California, was it was hard to adapt to an environment if you're different. So you almost have to be part of the environment in order to not be bullied or to not be singled out, you know. So I had to change my image. I had to change who I am. I had to be more, you know, how to be different. So when I saw Hua Chenyu just move around and just be himself and just go, you know, just be free to sing and just show his talent, and it doesn't matter what the world thinks. It doesn't matter what, you know, he just tunes into his zone. I think that was the most important part about loving Hua Chenyu and his uniqueness. It helped me, you know, kind of understand, you know, of feeling normal, you know, feeling like it's okay to be different. It's okay. I was in gangs here in LA, and you know, I wasn't really like a violent person. I've always been a soft kid, you know, and I've always had this, like, I have to be tough, and that was something I didn't want. I didn't want that lifestyle, so I just ran away and I just started exploring the world on my own. And I started, you know, I love diversity. You know, I love things that are different. I like going outside the box and thinking outside the box, but it was just really hard to do that growing up. But like I said, Hua Chenyu's uniqueness was his natural self, his natural ways that are so exposed and so you know, so transparent, and he shares that with the world, and I just love that about him, because it's something that, you know, we as humans, you know, in environments and all, it seems like we have to kind of, you know, oppress that about us, and I don't think Hua Chenyu oppressed that about him. So it helps to see and influence it. It's a role model. So of course I love Hua Chenyu's uniqueness the most, and his uniqueness just brings out the best in him, which is his music. You know, his talent is in music, the lyrics he puts in his songs, and the time he uses for his Martian family, creating this Martian family. So that's something I love about Hua Chenyu. So the question here is, how does his music change me? How did Hua Chenyu's music change me? So, how did Hua Chenyu's music change me? I gotta tell you, I gotta say it, and I have to say it because I am so glad that I have this opportunity to talk about this, because Hua Chenyu changed me. He changed me as a person. And let me elaborate that a little bit. I don't say change as in I became someone that I'm not. I said change into the person that I really am, because I was somebody that I'm not for a long period of time. And the way that Hua's music started doing whatever it did to my spirit, I felt like I just broke through. You know, I broke through all of the challenges. creating videos and it helped me therapeutically. Now that change was actually very embraced because that's why I got HuaChenyu's I got a tattoo of HuaChenyu's icon, and for this last video of which you can see here, this last video of New World, which I have it here. That song Seven Personalities there was something about that song, and I'm making a video on it. It's called Persist, but I actually had to get HuaChenyu's name tattooed on me too. So I got HuaChenyu's icon, and I got his name tattooed on top of his icon. And so basically HuaChenyu's music changed me spiritually. It changed me. It helped me understand myself scientifically. It is just like this drastic change. Not change. I wouldn't know how to answer that question without it meaning that I didn't become someone else. I became who I really am, my true self. And I still to this day, I still kind of, have to struggle with it. And, please allow me to express that here, because change is actually a really, really hard thing for me, because I have to let go of environments, of people, have to isolate again. And the change is actually a very hard transition, a very lonely phase. And change has, for example, I'll give you one example, like, being in gangs, and not being family oriented whatsoever, just a street kid. I was just a street kid. And I don't want to be in gangs, so I let go of hanging out with everybody, and I just started going to different places, I got admitted to a vocational college where I was able to live there and get government helping. So it was like a vocational college for government children, and I was able to attend to the vocational college. They paid me for going to school, and I actually graduated, and that was a change that I had to do to get out of that environment, because I just felt like, even though the environment of being in gang type of environments, violent environments, and even though that was the lifestyle that I came into and that I was in the environment, I actually felt I didn't feel safe. I didn't want to be there. So I have to change that into something that I can explore the world more broadly. So I left everybody. I stopped talking to people. I was by myself. I've always been alone, and I had to let go of people that I considered like family in order to find a new way and a new direction into my future. So that change alone was very hard to transition into, because I miss my friends, I miss being protected by people. I miss, having that attention. I miss those things. So HuaChenyu's music did change me, but that transition and that change was actually a safe place to be. It was I felt okay. I lived by myself. Like I said earlier, I experienced a traumatic experience, which actually helped me create the video. With HuaChenyu helped me create the video of PTSD, and living by myself and creating that video was actually motivating me. So it started. I started in that video. It was like a diary. So I was documenting everything I was feeling at the time, living here by myself, and going through that change in my life just to find a better lifestyle, for myself. So, I also attended school, UC Irvine. I started going to UC Irvine because that song, Here We Are, inspired me. And when I heard the lyrics to that song, it was like I wanted to live that song. I wanted to live the lyrics to that song. So I started exploring schools, and I started, getting motivated to go to school. And I have to give HuaChenyu the credit. I have to give him, I got my certificates here, from UC Irvine, and I have HuaChenyu's picture there. And I put, that was an experience that I have to say that it was a very drastic change, a very good change, the best change I've ever had in my life. It was, I feel good by myself more than I do being around, you know, a lot of people. I love Martians. I like communicating when I can. There's times that I do apologize that, you know, I get into myself and get into the videos. I come here. Sometimes, I go to sleep. I kind of, you know, I'm still in that transition of change right now. But, so I do apologize if at any point in time I made anybody feel like I'm not paying attention to you. I really do apologize about that. But it's a transition, you know, it's a change that, you know, I've been going through recently, and it's hard to break through some things, but I have to admit, only this video and only whoever watches this video would actually understand now, you know, what it is about me, that why am I like that anymore? How come I'm not like this anymore? How come I'm not like that anymore? You know, because I'm still currently going through those changes, and, you know, as I create this video Persist, which you'll see later, and I'll explain about that later, but it's making me explore a little bit more in this change. So I'm still in that transition of change, and I'm becoming more human, more human, and more part of the universe as a human. So that's a really good change that Hua Chenyu's music did for me. Next question is, did I join any Hua fans groups? I did. I started with, like I said earlier, with that PTSD video that I created. Now, mind you, it was really hard to post that video, but I kind of exhausted myself. I got not tired, but I got exhausted of doing the video PTSD, because it was almost like I got it, I get it, I accomplished it, I did it. Like, I have something to fall back on. I have something to live for. I have, you know, good experiences. So when I finished that video and I closed it with Shout, which is the New World, well, actually I closed it with the Return of the Master, but I did the Return of the Master as the credits, and then when I learned it was called Return of the Master, then that's when I created the video. But that's how I ended up in a fans group. So my first posting was the PTSD video on Hua fan subs. When Hua fan subs, you know, when people that were in Hua fan subs, the Martians that are in Hua fan subs, that saw the video, actually, I was scared what the reaction was gonna be, because it was I never faced that type of fear. But as I told you earlier, how I admire Hua, you know, going against the world and just being himself and just letting the world know who he is, actually made me post that video. Seriously. So I posted the video PTSD, and I was scared what the reaction would have been. But as I was reading the comments, I actually cried because it actually, I never thought people would accept me for my you know, differences. You know, I've always been judged for being different, but here is like there's something different about him, and I felt the love. So the first time I've ever felt loved in a Hua fans group was through Hua fan subs, and I still love Hua fan subs, and I'm always, and please let this part of the video be a testimony that Hua fan subs, you know, was part of the change. Because posting that on Hua, there's another group that I went through, but let me talk about Hua fan subs for a bit. Hua fan subs have been like a resource. You know, they help me understand, you know, the lyrics to the songs. And after creating videos and having all his music, and then I started understanding what the music means, like what the songs are about, and I felt like it was a more intense connection. So all the work that Hua fan subs does, you know, for Hua Chenyu's music is it should be rewarded. It should be like, you know, personally me, I would reward something. I made a piece of artwork for Hua fan subs, and I would one day would like to give it to them. I don't know where you're located, I don't know what, but I just want, you know, the person that created Hua fan subs, I would like for that person to take a gift from me. You take a gift from me because you were part of this change. You were part of this connection with Hua Chenyu, his music, his concerts, you know, and recently I've gone, you know, for Marshburn, for the charcoal dolls, you know, I have all my stuff from that I got from the Mars concert. I gotta say, it's just Hua's a part of my life, you know, and I really appreciate Hua fan subs. There's another fan group that I joined that was, you know, like I said, I like diversity, I like, you know, differences and everything, but there's some things that, you know, I cannot allow in my life, you know, and I came across a group and I met a lot of people, and unfortunately, you know, the group, and I'm gonna explain a little bit how I connect somehow with Hua Chenyu, but you know, being in a group, and there was the differences in this group, which I hope we can learn from this. The differences in this group that I joined were actually judged at some point. They were judged, you know, like who does things better, or who, you know, who likes him more, you know, things like that. And I was actually deleted from this Hua fans page because, you know, of who I am naturally, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I was offended. I was really, really hurt. And as I talked earlier about the changes that Hua Chenyu's music, you know, that being excluded from a group of someone that I really, really love, and I'm starting to connect with new people, new family. You know, it's not a good thing, you know, to exclude anybody, you know, from anything that they love, you know. It's not a good thing because you don't know the person, you know, you don't know what that person is going through, how that person is changing, how Hua Chenyu's music is changing me, and it affected me very much. It really did, you know. I was starting to feel like, you know, mind you, I have to say, like, I don't have a family, like parents, sisters, or I'm not, you know, connected to my siblings or my parents, so I don't know nothing about. I don't even know what they look like, to be honest. And I know that Hua Chenyu has built his family among Martians, and I want to feel like part of that family, and I think I should, you know, because the love is connected just the same as it is with anybody else. So we are a family from the soul that Hua puts in his music, you know. So I think it's really important to allow that to happen, you know, to be ourselves, to be different. And it's not good to exclude anybody because he does things differently, he does things better. But the only justice made in that point was there was a period of time too when Hua Chenyu was going through some of his of gossip and, you know, things that were saying about him when he disclosed about his child, and I felt like I had that in common with him. Like, oh, Hua Chenyu, believe me, I know what that feels like, you know. So it actually brought me closer, more connected, more exclusively to Hua Chenyu's music, and it did isolate me a little bit more, and I apologize about that, but it did isolate me a little bit more. It did get me closer to Hua Chenyu, to his music. I have so much music from him and so much stuff I want to do with every single song that, you know, I want to post them one day and just share them more with China, share them more with Bilibili, Weibo, and just extend myself to another social media, you know, outside of the United States. So I'm currently working on that, and the first video that I want to post, you know, outside of the United States is Persist. So I'm actually waiting to finish that video so I can kind of come back, you know. It's gonna be like the PTSD, but I kind of want to go like in China, you know. So it's almost like it's gonna make me stronger, and but I just want to give credit, the full credit, to Hua fan subs. They were the initial beginning phase of me coming into Hua and understanding his music and connecting, you know, with his music. I love you guys so much. Now the question is, do you have any wishes that I want to fulfill? If I can only have one wish in this planet, is to travel to China and go to a Mars concert. I want to travel to China to a Mars concert. If a Mars concert comes to LA, what more can I wish for? But I really want to go to a Mars concert so bad, and you know, you know, anything can happen. You know, anything can happen, and everything so far has happened. The only thing that has not happened is I'm still alive, and that's the best thing that is happening right now. That I am still alive, and I still have that wish that I can say that I want to wish. Of course, we don't know what can happen, but the one wish I can fulfill before I transition out of this planet, per se, is, you know, go to a Mars concert. Go to a Mars concert, and you know, okay, let me visualize going to a Mars concert right now. And this is not something I kind of like wanted to say, but I'm gonna say it right now just because it came inside of me right now. But the wish, this is what the wish looks like. Going to China, getting ready with gear, marching gear, having an outfit, mapping out the whole agenda for the Mars concert, and making sure that every single day of the agenda is somehow accounted for in the process of traveling, and getting there and meeting up with, I wish Delia Kuo, you know, because Delia Kuo has gone to a Mars concert, and I would like to, I will go, but I would like to meet Delia Kuo in person and just go to a concert with her, you know. If I can't go with her, I'll go alone like I go everywhere alone, but that would be part of the wish, and then that I would like to fulfill. Getting to the Mars concert, like being the first one at the Mars concert. I want to be the first one. If that means that I have to camp out and be the first one in line as soon as I arrive to China, I will do that. I will go ready for the Mars concert, be outside, the first one to go in. That's what I wish. So I wish, and then once I get in, just run around. I don't know, just go everywhere. You know, just get things, because that's just the way I am. I'm all over the place. You know, you can see it now. So I just want to let my spirit free. Once I'm there, every single second in the Mars concert, just put it all in there. Just my whole spirit, just put it in. I want to be the last one to leave. You know, I want to be the last one to leave, even if that means that, okay, come on, let's go. Come on, we gotta go. You know, I'll wait until somebody tells me that I have to go. But I want to stay there and be the first one and be the last one. I take care of these little ones with all my heart. But the reason why I'm gonna say this with Marshburn is because it has purpur and it's Marshburn. Charcoal dolls is us. Marshburn, and you know, this here purpur is Hua Chenyu. So the first thing I would want to say to Hua Chenyu is say I love you. I love you, Hua Chenyu. Your music, everything you put into your music, every thought, every time, every moment, every emotion, everything that makes you who you are, that was put into your music for us to share with us and to allow us to be a part of that music. I love you for that, because it has been such a journey for me. Such a journey to come into this moment in time where I feel like there's hope. There's something to look forward to. There's, you know, I never thought that I would actually meet an artist who was going to impact me the way that you did, who was going to help me see things in a better way, the way you did. I never thought that existed ever. and just allowing that to be a part of my life, a part of my home, a part of my change. You know, you keep me company at home. You're like my best friend here. You know, I'm by myself. I'm, you know, I live alone. I'm always alone, and I know a lot of people. You know, I have a lot of friends. They call me Inspiration Brother. Martians call me Inspiration Brother. You know, I make videos. You know, people comment on the videos. There's so many people that I've connected, you know, with through your music. But I want to say that you, Hua Chenyu, you have been the one and only inspiration to this degree, because I got your name tattooed on me. You know, I got your icon tattooed on me. I got Marshburn. Here I got charcoal dolls. I have your music. All this it becomes a part of my environment. It becomes a part of my home. I look forward to coming to my home because I have you here, because you're a part of my everyday life. I listen to your music every single day, and every song of yours, you have to know this, Hua Chenyu, every song of yours is like a vision of something. I don't know what it is. It's like a vision of something. And you know, I was born February 7. You were born February 7, and that, I want to say that because I feel like my existence has like a purpose now. I know it sounds really drastic to say something like that, but in all honest and being really honest right now, and just letting my spirit communicate and talk freely right now, the fact that our birthdays are the same day is like, you know, my parents left me and I was abandoned, and then I tried to connect with them, but you know, it was a very violent experience, and it actually traumatized me a lot. And you know, I questioned like why like why even have me if you're just gonna throw me like that away, you know? But when I found you and I saw that, wow, your music is really touching me. And then you know, before I traveled to Southeast Asia, I wanted to Google more about you, and I saw that your birthday was the same day as mine, and it was this enlightening feeling that I want to enjoy. That's why I used that song "Shout" on the video, PTSD, because right before I left, I felt something about my life, about my existence, about being born. Right before that, that's when I saw that your birthday was the same day as mine. So I enjoyed my trip to Southeast Asia, and that was actually the spark of, you know, of having our birthdays the same day. It's a huge coincidence, and you know, whatever it is that, you know, brought life me to this point in time, to that point in time where I was actually the part where everything changed. You know, I don't want to say it, promote that, you know, a lot, but this is something that, an opportunity to say, what would you say to Hua Chenyu? So, but if I ever get a chance to meet you, I just want to make sure somehow or some period in time, you know how much I love you, and you know how much it means to me to connect right now, and use that moment, if I ever do get a chance to meet you, use that moment to just, if I can, give you a hug and just tell you I love you and say thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you are, that has helped me be everything I am. So thank you so much, Hua Chenyu, and I feel better. I didn't, you know, I'm gonna say it probably took me about 12 clips to really say what would you say to Hua Chenyu, but I let it out and I feel better, and and that have to be the closing of the video now. So thank you.